we can go ahead and get started. Episode 1.5 of
We'll be honest with the people. You know, we tried this before last week, but we had some technical difficulties.
Yes, sir. This is the Loyal Sons podcast.
Yes, it is. We'll do intros one more time. Oh, George.
Whatever.
Yeah, I'm George Brisbane. Like I said, from Charleston, South Carolina. Currently living up in Rhode Island. I work in collegiate athletics for the University of Rhode Island.
I guess I'll go next. Right, looking. What would you say, George? Yeah, I guess. I'm currently living up here in Charlotte. I guess y'all don't need to know too much more than that. My team back there in the back, the Titans. But other than that, yeah. Go ahead, whoever.
I'll go ahead and take it. Everybody, what's up? How you doing? Denzel Johnson, originally from the Bronx, New York. I live in Atlanta now. I'm a school counselor out here. You already know, see the Yankees, BX all day. That's all I gotta say.
Aaron Duncan here, originally from the metropolis of Emmons, South Carolina. Recently just moved back home, and I'm in Spartanburg, South Carolina at Spartanburg Community College as an advisor up here. And you can see the man cave in the back, the Dallas Cowboys. And Loyal Sons, man, is I'm gonna let everybody else speak on it too. Is something we do this all the time through group chats in person. We just debate sports all the time, and Loyal Sons is kind of paying tribute to where we all met at the South Carolina State University in Orangeburg, South Carolina.
I feel bad now. Y'all got your hoodies on. I ain't
Man, I could change real quick, but I'm gonna stay in this one.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we'll just keep it moving as we go week by week with every episode.
Every episode we'll change it up. We'll try to keep it.
You already know.
Keep it mixed.
I guess we kick it off again, man. How we feel about episodes 1 through 4? I guess we start with 1 and 2 of Last Dance.
Like I said, episodes 1 and 2, amazing, man. It's gonna definitely shine a light on who, I think, 3 people in this podcast can agree on that, he's the greatest player of all time.
Right. Exactly.
But it was great stuff. Like a shiner, it got me in a lot more information. Some stuff that I knew a little bit about, but I got to think a lot more about it. It's definitely with Scotty and the general manager. And it just goes to show you sometimes, we always have questions on, what can stop greatness. And that's definitely one of those times where one person was looking for more clout or credit than what he got. I mean, the man won 2 Executive of the Year awards. I don't know what more else you want, but yeah, and just a great documentary so far. Definitely episodes 1 and 2.
Yeah. Oh yeah, go ahead, Denzel.
Nah, you good, Steve. I follow up.
No, I was gonna say, pretty much the first 2 episodes, like we said before, I think they just really gave, the younger generation, maybe those who didn't actually get to see him play live on TV, this gave him a little bit more insight into the impact that he had on the game. I think, a lot of people always hear Jordan, the name, but they just don't get to see him actually play. And then they had a lot of clips on there for people who never saw him. Maybe that was the first time some of those clips, that they showed during the first 2 episodes, gave definitely a little bit more insight. And I think they definitely gave just a little bit more in depth to for those who didn't get to see him, just how he impacted the culture of basketball and outside of basketball itself. So I just think that's a couple of the main things that it highlighted. But of course, you'll see the situation with Scotty and stuff like that. I didn't know too much about that.
You mean when he didn't speak up to help Scotty get paid?
Well, yeah, if that's what you want to say. But yeah, I mean, and as we saw, Jordan really wasn't getting paid until them last couple of years. So I mean, I don't know how much leverage he actually had. And then we saw, you know, what kind of guy Jerry Krause was. So I mean, I don't even know if Jordan would have came to him, would that have been receptive or made him just try to, you know, take a stance even more than what he was doing.
I mean, the way they
Yes, exactly.
the way they paying Jerry Krause makes me believe that I think they did ask. Jerry just said no.
Yeah.
So to piggyback off of this and to set this up for my good brother Iron Duncan over here, you already know.
Told me the alley.
You know, I'm toss you the alley right off the backboard. You already know. So Last Dance, first 2 episodes, what comes to mind is Scotty's contract issues. Jerry Krause, is it the moves or the ego which took over? And for the younger generation, kind of the GOAT debate, you know, the LeBron versus Jordan. Now you're really getting the opportunity to see when Jordan was the man and not Jordan the executive and Jordan the mean, crying all the time. You know, you really get to see
I love
the
that
work
meme.
that he put in. So now I want you guys to take the time to appreciate what you see, appreciate the greatness. Because before there was a LBJ, aka the king, or whatever you want to call him, it was LJ, you know? Who wants to be like Mike? You already know. So that was the, you know, the pedestal. And let's take the time to appreciate this. And we don't have to get too much LeBron versus Jordan, you know, because at some point, LeBron looked up to Jordan. LeBron wanted to do the things that Jordan was doing. And, you know, at some point in his career, he's doing things that are similar to what Jordan did and possibly could be better. I'm not even going to shut it down. You know, so with that, I'm going to go ahead and throw it off the backboard. What you got for me, big brother Iron? What's up?
I think as a GOAT James fan, I think people are expecting me to watch Last Dance and come away with the fact that I would change my mind and be like, Jordan is the GOAT. No, he was a great player, though. Young Mike was fresh. Before he started getting money with those 8-button suits, Young Mike was fresh. The chains and all that, you can't debate that, but it does it's just that team. I think Mike was always a brand, an individual. They even had one shot where I think they went to China. Everybody that got off the plane had on the Chicago Bull sweatshirt except Mike.
Yeah.
Mike did not. Mike had on Jordan brand. So even at a young age, even while he was going through it, I think he was the first player to kind of be an individual, not in a bad way, be an individual on a team, because at the end of the day, you got to make your money. And he, even though he wasn't getting paid by the Bulls, he was getting paid.
Of course.
So I think this just shows how much of an icon he was back then.
Yeah, like I really think like he laid the foundation for everybody else who's doing it right now to become a global brand and a global icon. Like, and I'm gonna take it this way, and there I know everybody's gonna hate it. You know, it was Mike, and then we technically didn't have another real, true global brand until Kobe. You can say what you want. Kobe to this day, I mean, rest in peace, Kobe Bryant was
RP Bean.
You know,
yeah. I mean,
even when he retired, he still was the #1 selling jersey overseas. Like people love this dude, and like Mike's laid that foundation. Then it was Kobe, and I think LeBron James is taking it. And you couldn't think somebody could take it to another level, but he did. Like LeBron doing things that I don't think anybody else actually never really thought about doing.
Yeah, and I was gonna say to your point, George, about Kobe. I think actually Kobe might have had a little bit more of a greater impact on the international brand than Jordan did.
He did.
To be honest with you, especially with China. You know, he really was big over China. I think he, you know, until he passed, he actually might have still been one of the biggest names over there in China, really, as far as the NBA.
Yeah, I think Kobe was the first true player to actually, like Mike went overseas, but I don't think he like embraced it like they knew him. But like Kobe actually went over there and like they could see him like, and they were just like, wow, like this is like real, like dude is great. And then here comes LeBron James, who's just been destined for greatness since he was in high school, and really taking that first step. But like getting back to the documentary now allows people, and like I'm not expecting nobody to change their opinion, and if you have an opinion that LeBron James is the best, stick with it. But it now gives them kids who just been buying shoes for the last couple of years,
just been wearing Jordans.
Yeah, you know,
Right.
you can now see this is why his shoes are. This is why Jordan brand is separate from Nike. It's together, but it's separate. Like, you know,
I don't know who. I don't care who you are. I don't know why he tried to play in Jordan 1s. That's not possible. That's not possible.
You know, that was the product of the time. People was
At the
playing
time,
in
yeah.
Chucks. People were
Those
playing in
was-
Chucks once upon a
You know why?
upon a
Because they
time.
were unathletic. This is only going to prove my GOAT debate, but we'll get to that later.
so to keep this going, let's jump into episodes 3 and 4 and then bring it all together. You know,
Rodman vacation.
Yo,
That's crazy to me.
How many of us would just love to say, I need the time to decompress, coach. Let me go to Vegas and do what I do for a couple
Let me
of
go.
days. And they allow you to go.
There was no
Right.
social media.
Right.
What GOAT debate are we talking about right there? If that's not a GOAT move, I don't know what is.
That definitely is a GOAT move.
no,
It's definitely
is.
you know
that
what?
definitely would not have happened today though. That could not have happened.
No.
This is the
Could
real
not-
GOAT move, though. And I tweeted about this while the thing was going on. The real GOAT move is the fact that they allowed him to go, but then stayed longer than the 48 hours that he's supposed to stay and had the greatest basketball player at the time running around Las Vegas looking for him to bring him back home. If that don't tell you how important Dennis Rodman was to that team, Michael Jordan went looking for this man.
Michael
Exactly.
Jordan finds him with his superstar girlfriend in a towel and all that. Like
Yeah.
she hid from Michael. She hid from the greatness of Michael. Oh my God, he's here.
Mike was like the dad. It's like somebody's
Right.
daddy coming to pick you up.
But like Dennis is like Dennis will like my whole. I always appreciated Dennis Rodman. Like I like the fly. We can get into like Dennis and like his hair and all that, how he acted and dressed. I always felt he was a great basketball player. But if it doesn't show you how great Dennis was, like Mike didn't send somebody. Mike literally hopped on a plane. Like gambling problem, Mike. I'm not gonna skate over there. People act like Michael Jordan had a gambling problem.
Right. I'm sure he didn't just go to Vegas to get.
Yeah.
Right. He
Stop
started at a couple tables before he definitely stopped. He definitely
Hold on,
stopped.
fight don't leave for an hour. We got time.
Right.
Yo, and went and found this dude. Like, I can't say I don't think any other player would have gone and done that. But like, but it takes like somebody to like really know, like, okay, this dude's important to what we're trying to accomplish. And that should like further like let me know, like, okay, Michael's all about winning. I think at that point he knew he couldn't win it all by himself, even with Scotty. Like, we need Dennis to make this happen. And that's
I think Dennis is underrated, man.
very underrated. After 5 championships, the greatest player in the world is going to find you in a hotel room in Vegas. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people just look at his antics off the court and then relate that to what he actually did on the court. I mean, if you just take all of that away and just look at what he did on the court, he's definitely a great player and people should recognize that, but he don't get that respect and credit that he deserves, just I think because of his reputation off the court and some of the stuff he gets involved with and the topics he discusses. So I think a lot of people just discredit him and forget about what he actually did on the court.
Yeah.
Every great team need a goon, and I think Rodman might be the best of that type of player, like a Draymond or a James Posey. Or a Tony Allen. Every good team needs somebody that's gonna go out there and just do the dirty work.
I'm gonna come for you in a minute. I'm gonna come for you in a minute, Irene.
I don't got to score. I can lock you up and I can rebound. I think every good team need that.
Draymond.
Hold on. I know you did. I know damn well you didn't mention Draymond Green when it comes to Dennis Rodman.
I say he was a goon.
Not Mr. Triple Single.
But he's good at
Let's keep it real. When you think of Dennis Rodman, you think of a specific skill set here. You're thinking about rebounds over scoring. I agree with being a goon. Defense, knocking some players around, because shout out, he was an original member of the Bad Boys, and we'll get into that as we move
You
along.
just described Draymond, by the way.
Not necessarily.
Nah.
Not necessarily. Thank you. Yes. Not at all.
Knocking people around, rebounding, over scoring, that's Draymond.
He ain't
I'm not
bringing
going to
that.
get into my personal feelings of Draymond Green in this
He's
segment, but it,
not bringing that intimidation factor and that whole physicality that Robin brings.
No,
Draymond
but he
allowed to
attempts
talk.
to.
right.
He attempts to.
He makes an attempt. That's a better word. I appreciate that.
Draymond wishes he was there.
Yeah.
On the
But
court.
you know, at the same time, I would say Draymond is a little different than Dennis. Anyway, he's a shooter. He there was a time when he would put up some points. You know, he got comfortable when KD was there, and he forgot how to shoot. This is understandable. Passing up wide open threes.
He said he got a hip problem.
Well, he got a hip problem, huh?
That's what he said on the podcast. That's what I heard.
He had a hit problem. He couldn't hit a shot. That was the problem.
It's a lot different when the defense is collapsing on KD and he's shooting wide open when a hand in the face.
Exactly. Now make it. You wide open and the world watching. Make it.
Exactly. You are the primary scorer right now, and you're averaging a triple single. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So what about
you just solidified your place in the Warriors' history? Yeah, you are not the 1, not the 2, not the 3. Right now, you might not even be the 5th option when everybody returns. So let's just keep it real.
I think he'll be the 4th or 5th. He'll be 4th or 5th.
Yeah, between him and Wiggins, whoever, Wiggins knocks down that shot more consistently.
I forgot about Wiggins. I forgot about him.
Wiggins knocks down that shot more consistently. Now we're talking about Draymond even being a sixth player again.
I just can't wait for them to play the Lakers next year and get on trying to guard Anthony Davis. Like,
gonna be bad.
Yeah.
For the next year.
Barbecue chicken alert. Barbecue chicken alert.
Wiggins trying to guard Bron. That's gonna be bad too.
Yeah.
So how y'all feel about the Pistons walking out the court?
Man, I think that they probably should have showed them a little bit more respect. Just looking at when the Bulls lost to them, the previous years, they shook their hand and, showed good sportsmanship. But at the same time, I kind of think that with the amount of years that's passed, I think they need to go ahead and let that grudge go, man. Like, it's been a long time since then. And in the moment, I do think that, the Bulls and Michael was right to, feel slighted because they didn't, show him that sportsmanship and respect. But after all these many years that's passed, I think they need to go ahead and let that go, man. They both grown men. I think they need to move past that.
Hey, look,
you
go ahead.
Go ahead. Okay. The one figure that I paid attention to the most was Bill Laimbeer. After all these years, it seems, it is what it is. It's why are we still talking about this? It's kind of irrelevant. I understand the documentary's bringing it back up, but you know how the media just jumped all over that all over again. So all the feelings, all the raw emotions, everything is out there. And for the players that lived it, they know that that's the way the game was played at a time. Now, could they, like, hindsight, looking back, might have they done it differently if they knew they was going to get this kind of backlash? Yes. But once again, the documentary indicated that the Celtics did that to the Pistons.
Mm-hmm.
The Pistons finally overcame them and went to the finals. So why are we talking solely about the bad boy Pistons and not incorporating Larry Bird and the perfect Celtics?
The Celtics players looked a little different. That's
Exactly.
the reason behind that.
Exactly.
There you go.
Larry Bird was, one of the faces of the NBA during that time. So of course they're gonna give him a pass.
I think it just looked worse because they had to walk past the Bulls on the bench. If they didn't have to walk past them, it wouldn't have been a big deal. They just would have walked off the court.
You're right. Yeah.
But I mean,
it's the way it was set up.
Who they really should be mad at is who put the locker room in the bench.
Exactly.
On the opposite side.
That makes no sense. But I mean,
it's all about optics.
Hey man, it takes some type of guts to walk across the court while the game's still going on though, and just say, forget the game, I'm out.
Yeah.
It takes some guts, and like, I think they should have shook their hands. Like, I understand it happened to you, but I think at some point, you gotta. And I understand it was heated and stuff, but like we all said, we saw that even when Mike was getting his ass kicked the other 3 years, he still went and Mike went in the locker room and cried. Because there's one thing we can confirm from the documentary, the Hall of Fame, and the Kobe Bryant funeral, Mike's a crier.
Oh yeah.
Mike,
oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. He cried in the car.
Yeah, Mike cried. But I think they should have like shook their hands and stuff like that. But I do hats off to Bill Laimbeer. I mean, it is what it is. We did it. We did it. It's over.
Horace Grant too. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love it when somebody gonna be honest. Horace Grant
Yeah.
said that. What he said, they was some. Hey,
Yeah.
Yeah,
be honest.
It is what it is now. The only
Mhm.
thing I don't like Denzel, like you said, like now, like everybody's bringing it back and acting like it's a big thing. The only thing I don't like is that Isaiah Thomas has been on tour all week, blaming Michael Jordan for him not making the dream team. I'm just like, come on now.
All right, let's
Yeah.
It might be
okay
some
now.
truth to that.
Like, listen, now that we're shifting to this, there was the fact that Chuck Daly, the Pistons coach, was the head coach of the Dream Team. I think one of their executives was on the board, and they fought for Isaiah to get on that team. And when it didn't happen, the executive he resigned from the board. So that indicates that it wasn't from up here. It actually was a player or a group of players. So I'm not going to solely put it on Michael, but we can mention Larry Bird.
Bird
We
and
can
Magic.
mention his best friend Magic Johnson.
Thank
Yeah.
And you, of
They
course,
weren't
you're
cool
gonna
though.
put the best player in that era, Michael Jordan. Now, I believe he has a lot of influence in the decision
top
like
three.
that. When a player of Isaiah's caliber cannot make the dream team after
And
everything he
Christian
put
Laettner made it.
into the NBA, Christian Laettner made it. John Stockton made it over him. Don't get me wrong. John Stockton's a hell of a player now. You know,
Yeah.
over.
about John
But at
Stockton.
that
No,
at
I'm
that
talking
point
about
in time,
Christian
he, had,
Laettner.
he, had, he hadn't made it to the finals yet. And the numbers were getting to the point of where they are now with the assists, but it wasn't there
Yeah.
yet.
It was still early. But him and Magic had fell out because there was a rumor that he was telling people how Magic caught HIV was because he was homosexual or bisexual, whatever. But that was a rumor that I guess Magic believed. So
I honestly think that Bird because remember Bird had the whole beef with Isaiah when Isaiah, mimicked Dennis saying that if Larry Bird was black, he'd be just another good player. And that
Good point, George. Yeah.
mhm.
I really think it was Bird and Magic that didn't want Isaiah on the team. The fact that Mike actually went and recruited Dennis when Dennis was on those Bad Boys teams to come play with him lets me know Mike will play with anybody. I don't really think Mike hated Isaiah enough to say, I can't play a 2-week tournament with you overseas. For him to go get Dennis, who Dennis was the one actually fouling Mike and helping inflict
Knocking people out.
like he was one of the main culprits that was a part of this when Mike
Yeah, Isaiah wasn't knocking nobody out.
Isaiah wasn't knocking anybody out. Isaiah was just out on the wing like, ooh.
Mhm.
Like that happened. So the fact that happened lets me I think they asked Mike, and I honestly feel from watching the first 4 episodes, Mike probably said, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
If you're on the team, you're on the team. If you're not on the team, I don't think Mike fought for him to be on it, but I don't think Mike fought for him to not be on it. I don't think Mike don't put him on the team.
He like, if he there, he there. If he not,
Whatever.
Well, yeah.
I hear you, George. I disagree with that fact just because we mentioned him recruiting Dennis Rodman to the Bulls. Some years have went by. He probably let that go. He probably didn't really have that beef with Dennis Rodman, but there was that awkward pause when they asked Michael about how you think Isaiah feels about what happened in the past, and Isaiah's an asshole, So there's something there. He has not let it go.
he don't like him.
Let that go now. So
Definitely don't.
I can believe in the 91, 92 era when the Dream Team played. I can honestly feel him. I felt that animosity 20 plus years, almost 30 years later. So of course I would think he would have something.
But look at how they looked at now. Look at how they looked at now. It would probably even still make Mike mad now that Isaiah, even though he was the one that played dirty, people love Isaiah and they say Mike is an asshole. And Mike is supposed to be the GOAT. And they say he's an asshole.
Because Isaiah's the victim now. And Isaiah's doing a great job of playing that victim. That's why
He's
he's
very
going
personable
around
too, though.
tours. Yes.
He's very personable too, though.
He is.
He's good on TV. He's good with
He is
people.
good on TV.
Mike don't do interviews and none of that.
Yes.
I think Mike is just in another stratosphere from Isaiah, so it's like hard to really put hands on him. Isaiah just more so, a people person, and he got a lot of relationships, a lot of people in the NBA, And he just really seems like a hands-on type of guy, and you don't see that from Mike. So I think that's a lot of people relate to that.
Mike is more so who players wanted to be like. Isaiah is somebody who mentors players.
Yeah.
So I think that's the big difference.
So with that being said, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and toss this out here. Did that incident of not shaking hands tarnish Isaiah's Hall of Fame status?
Nah.
Not
I think it feeds into the Bad Boys persona that they had. It just feeds into it. It makes them even more of the Bad Boys.
Yeah,
Okay.
the only thing that I kind of don't like why Isaiah's been on his tour this week, that's what I'm calling it, is I'm Not the Bad Guy tour. Played on the team. Yeah, played on a team where y'all theme was the Bad Boys. Bro, you gotta own that. That shit's for you for the rest of your existence.
Yeah.
But like you said, his charisma and everything about him is not indicative with the Bad Boys. It's not. Mm-hmm. And you know what? He's that bad boy that he'll do the little slick shit and then he'll smile in your face like, did I do that?
If I had 2 7-footers behind me, I'd do too.
And that's what
I was. Low key, I was that guy growing up, so I can relate to him. Shout out.
Me too.
You got Bill Laimbeer, Dennis, Rick Mahorn, and Dumas talking all the trash and just and Isaiah just being like, I was just with them. I wasn't doing it.
Yeah, I was just there.
I just happened to be there, But that's a good point, though. Great job with that one, guys. So where we tossing this one up to next? Where we shifting?
I want to say something real quick. I want to say something real quick.
Yes.
Fans, everybody has on hats, but 3 of us have on hats because we haven't been able to get a haircut because of the pandemic. Iron, we don't know why Iron has a hat on.
Hey, I mean, my haircuts are current right now. I'm up to date. I just can't get the shave down.
Oh man.
Let's go with the GOAT debate.
The GOAT debate.
It's not too much of a debate, but
it is.
It's a debate because I'm gonna pull a statement from one of my favorite players, Allen Iverson, be like, so we just gonna skip over Kobe Bryant? Act like this dude wasn't a killer?
So are you saying Kobe's the GOAT?
Am I saying Kobe's the GOAT? Kobe Bryant is my favorite all-time player.
That make him the GOAT, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Your favorite.
I didn't make him the GOAT. I get that. I believe Michael Jordan is the greatest player of all time. Then second in my book is Kobe Bryant.
Oh, I'm going
last. You and Steve. You go, Steve.
I just feel like those 2 players, the way they attacked the game, the way they played it, the way they just went about it in their everyday life, it's just no one's ever come close to those 2 when it comes to but we never thought that we would see something so close to Mike, and I think everybody loved Mike so much. Like Kobe came up to me, I think in a bad era because he came in when Mike was still there and it was kind of fresh. Everybody was still loving Mike, and then Kobe was there, and then nobody wanted to give Kobe. Nobody wanted to pass that torch. Everybody wanted to hold on. Mike's the greatest player. That's like Mike, and we just didn't appreciate Kobe. And then LeBron came, and LeBron came in the middle of Kobe's career, and I kind of overshadowed Kobe's greatness, and we didn't appreciate Kobe's run. We can say what we want, other than Pau Gasol. Come on now, let's not act like them 2 Lakers championships without Shaq was just loaded with talent. Come on now.
You had Lamar Odom.
Lamar Odom had some good games in there.
Hey, Lamar Odom was nice.
Out there getting legit.
Jordan Farmar hit some threes.
Jordan Farmar. Jordan Farmar. We
had some good games. That's all I'm saying.
Meta World Peace.
Trevor Ariza.
But I think that's very true about Kobe, though, man. I think Kobe didn't have enough time in the league by himself to be appreciated. So I think that's what hurts him when people talk about the greatest players. I mean, everybody knows he's a great player, but the fact that at the beginning of his career, they're going to attribute a lot of that to Shaq. And then as far as by himself, he won 2 But then right after that, you got LeBron went to Miami. So it's like all that kind of get overlooked.
Yep.
And then, I mean, he was still dominant then, but he wasn't really winning for like the last few years of his career.
Yeah. It's tough. But like I said, Mike's the GOAT. Kobe's right there. LeBron's in my top since the Cleveland thing, and I'm also a true Lakers fan. I'm not just a Kobe fan, I'm a true Lakers fan.
Okay.
And since LeBron's matriculation to Los Angeles, pull out SAT word for everybody.
Since he went there.
Since he went to LA, I have grown to like look at LeBron and appreciate his game a little bit more. And also with the passing of Kobe Bryant, also put me in a position to like appreciate great players and not necessarily get into debates of like necessarily, because there was a point I hated him. I didn't like him. Like I just couldn't stand him. But
I know.
But now, like,
okay, so now we have somebody admitting to that. Okay,
Yeah.
all right, here we go.
Yeah. But now, like I like him as a player, and like looking at some of the things, especially on some of the things he does in the community and stuff like that, you can't help but like look at that, a young black man doing this thing, setting up businesses and taking care of his friends. Similar to like we always all, four of us look out for each other. And I think if one of us was in that situation, we would definitely do the same thing that he's doing. I mean,
Oh yeah, y'all getting hired.
Yeah, we're trying to do our
Yeah, appreciate that. Likewise. Everybody brings something different to the table here.
Yeah, trying to do our thing right now. I mean, we're making it happen.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, definitely opening up the school, taking care of back home. And I think all of us, me being from Charleston, Irons from Inman, Steve's from the Berg, Denzel's from up in the city.
Steve, hold on, I didn't mean it. Steve is from the second Berg. The first Berg is Spartanburg.
No, I'm from the real Berg, Berg.
Listen,
The one that y'all attended school
Right.
at. I don't want to hear none of that other stuff.
I spent some extended time in Orangeburg. I consider Orangeburg the Burg. Spartanburg.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. You know what I mean?
Spartanburg is Sparkle City. Sparkle City. That's what Spartanburg is.
Pub City.
But yeah, we all have like that pride, of our home, our home areas and stuff like that. So it's good to see, a young black man take pride in his home and do great things. So, it's definitely somebody who now I look at more as like a role model. Kobe, I didn't look at Kobe as a role model type till after he retired, because Kobe was just so focused on basketball. And then we didn't see this, and it's kind of sad, we didn't see this creative side of Kobe Bryant until after he retired. And we were kind of like, I don't want to say robbed, but that's like the only word that's coming to mind right now of other things that he would be able to do. His artistic ability is kind of just like, wow, this dude's actually great at a lot of stuff. And it just shows that, that whole narrative, shut up and dribble. Like, nah, these brothers are good at dribbling and being athletic, but they're smart. Like they're creative, they're artistic. They just happen to be better at basketball than everybody else.
Steve, that's it.
Yeah. I just want to state for the record, let me just make it clear that Jordan is the real GOAT. So I ain't even gonna, let the people debate on who I think is the GOAT, But as far as Kobe and LeBron, I mean, those two, Kobe and LeBron, are my top, they're in the top three. They're just kind of interchangeable for me at times. But as far as LeBron, I mean, I'm kind of like where George was coming from. Like when he first came into the league, I just kind of really wasn't feeling his whole vibe and everything as far as like how he came.
I'm so happy y'all admit this.
I mean, nah. I mean, I guess I didn't really like him too much just because of all the hype he had, and I was like, man, he didn't really do too much yet. I mean, I don't understand why people give him all this credit and trying to say he the next best thing when he hasn't won anything really. Like, I mean. So, I look at it from that angle, but, as I matured and became a little bit older, just understanding life a little bit more and kind of seeing things he was doing off the court as well, that kind of made me respect him a little bit more and just kind of started looking at what he was doing on the court as well, just looking at it from just a basketball standpoint and keep my personal feelings out of it. So, I mean, I still don't think he's better than Jordan just because of on-court performances, but I will respect him and say he's, I think a top 3 player of all time. But I I can't give him that credit of saying he's better than Jordan just because of that killer instinct. I think when sometimes you need a Jordan to take over the game and game over the line, it don't matter. You know, everybody in the stadium know Jordan getting the ball, the coaches, fans, everybody, and he gonna take the game over him and win the game. Sometimes LeBron, I think he shied away from that. He'll get in that situation. He'll look to pass the ball or maybe look for an open shot. I mean, which is a good basketball play. So I can't take that away from him. But at the same time, I think he uses that as an excuse as well, and instead of just taking over the game. So I think that's what, for me, kind of leaves him out of that. My personal opinion of, the greatest of all time.
Okay. So when you think of GOATs, I'm definitely putting Michael Jordan in our era, that era that we're viewing now, the 90s, late 80s, early 90s, as the GOAT of that era. And that's with everybody that's involved, Magic, Larry Bird. The great Bird said, Michael Jordan, this guy is the best player. You have to embrace that. There was a time, like Steve and George indicated, where it wasn't really too fond of LeBron. He came in the league, all this hype. He got outplayed by Carmelo, but somehow he got the Rookie of the Year that season.
And Carmelo did lead his team to the playoffs.
To the playoffs.
Yeah, I will in the Western Conference.
Conference, outscored him.
Mm-hmm.
The numbers indicated Melo had the better season, and along with the playoff appearance, that he actually was the leader of the team. But besides the fact, again, as we grow and we start to experience life as Black men, and indicating that the things LeBron James does in the community, you can't take that away. And with the untimely passing of Kobe Bryant, again, it's not somebody that I grew up idolizing. I was more the Allen Iverson kid growing up, but with him leaving at such a young age, it makes you appreciate the greatness we have today. I've seen years where Jordan was the GOAT, and I'm starting to appreciate the years that LeBron is considered a GOAT. And, I have nothing negative to say about the brother,
Well, he's always been the GOAT to me. I think I see what people say about Kobe and Jordan having the killer instinct, but I think it's subjective. I think it's just more so their personalities are, when they're in the game, their personalities are just different. So they express that differently. And I mean, them taking the last shot, I mean, you can look at it both ways. It's either a good thing that they're going to shoot over two people, or you can say it's a bad thing that they're going to shoot over two people. It's just how you look at it. I mean, and with Jordan and Kobe, their mid-range games were so point that those were high percentage shots for them. With LeBron driving, if he's shooting a mid-range shot, I don't want him to shoot that for the game winner. I would much rather him either drive to the hole, which is probably going to be a charge, or shoot a three. Because with him, his mid-range is not that good. As far as Jordan and Kobe, that was their shot. So they was going to hit that 9 times out of 10. And I just feel like, man, if you look at the things that LeBron does on the court and off the court, man, it's stuff that hasn't been done before. And people have the ability now to kind of dissect his game. So whenever there is a GOAT debate, they can say, well, LeBron didn't do this. But they never mentioned Jordan hit a big shot over Craig Elo when they played Cleveland. The reason they were in that game was because he missed free throws. He had a chance to end that series before he got to that shot. But people will go back and look at LeBron now and be like, well, LeBron missed this shot. Yeah, Jordan missed a shot too. And then,
I was just about to take it there. Let's not forget when the Miami Heat were playing the Spurs in the finals, and LeBron missed a terrible miss from downtown. He was just blessed that he had one of the best shooters ever. Who was that? I forget his name. I don't know. It might be Ray Allen. To knock down a once-in-a-lifetime shot.
I'm glad you mentioned that. I'm glad you mentioned that.
Game 7.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because before he missed that three, he had made one just before that to cut the lead. So if he don't hit the one before that to cut the lead, that shot don't ever happen.
Yeah, you got it.
I mean, but if you're gonna look at it that way, we can look at it at every game, and it's a few plays that's gonna, determine the outlook of every game. So I think we can't really look at it as that. Again, I think it's just.
But we do when it comes to Bron.
I mean, we do, but at the same time, I think we look at LeBron because of a lot of people just don't like the way his personality is with the media and how he comes off. So I think that gives him a lot of gets him a lot of flack with a lot of fans just because of how he comes off. And if you actually think about it, LeBron is not really that personable either. He seems like he wants to be that way or comes off to be that way. He's more so of a businessman, and he will put people on, and try to move people around and get people to the next level. But he's not that really that too much of a personal guy, because LeBron not even gonna do interviews without, having questions scripted and, having these things set up and that. So as far as personality wise, we give LeBron a lot of credit, but he also likes to have a lot of control over everything too, just like Jordan does. So they're very similar from that aspect as well.
Not to mention, let's not forget the time he walked off during the finals with his he was a little saucy the way he walked off and had his little man satchel or purse or whatever you want to call it.
Do better next time. But I definitely agree with that. But I think he has to do that in this day and age, because the players back then had an advantage where if you weren't reading the newspaper, you didn't see the clip that somebody was talking bad about him. Nowadays, you can look on Instagram on the Explore page and find 10 people talking bad about LeBron. So it's like he can't really say, even if you watch some of those Warriors finals, it's like when Klay Thompson said, I guess we hurt his feelings, or somebody, it's like somebody do something to push his button. He can't really say how he want to feel because he going to get killed. So he got to always try to take, I guess, the higher road, and it makes it look like he don't really care. But I know he wanted to say something to Klay and Draymond next year.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I agree.
I would give you that. Like, LeBron definitely grew up more in the social media things, and that's one saving grace that all the old players had. We're talking about Mike, and they didn't have Mike and Magic and all of them, and even like, the early part of the Kobe, Shaq, and Tim Duncan. Well, Tim Duncan doesn't talk anyway, so it doesn't really.
Nah.
But like, we're talking about the greatest players of that. Definitely immediate post-Jordan era going into now. This is LeBron D-Wade era. We're leaving that era. Now we're going into the KD and Kawhi era now. But, they didn't have to worry about social media and stuff like that. LeBron does. Like, everything he does, he's under a tremendous microscope. And I couldn't imagine, like, having to deal with that. I mean, I guess he could get burners like KD and just,
just tweet everybody back.
And just tweet everybody back and talk trash. But it does put him in a tougher situation. But I think we all agreed, or the three of us, other than Aaron.
Imagine that pressure Jordan would have felt on Instagram every day with people saying he's a great player, but he can't win before he actually won.
Yeah, I mean, like in the documentary, it shows like Michael read the clips, because when he hit the shot and they said Michael was cursing, he was talking to the media.
Yeah, he was saying, "Man, I missed some free throws a game before we had to play this whole game. I missed free throws."
And they also said how he called out those three reporters that wrote the story.
That's smooth. Hey, that's smooth. You can't take that from him, man. Jordan, even the old Jordan, besides how he dressed, he was smooth, man. You can't take it from him. You can't take it from him.
So I think we've come to an agreement. 3 votes to 1. Michael Jordan, the greatest player of all.
You are outnumbered.
Allen Iverson is Denzel's GOAT. Don't let him fool y'all. Allen Iverson is Denzel's GOAT.
If he had better teammates, we would have a different discussion. But at the end of the day,
he could have had better teammates. He still wasn't gonna win in that Kobe Shaq era. I'm sorry.
No, that wasn't gonna happen, bro.
Detroit.
That wasn't gonna happen.
Detroit.
Nobody could win in that Kobe and Shaq era with Shaq throwing elbows and breaking teeth. I'm sorry, it wasn't gonna happen.
Fat Shaq was amazing for the Lakers, bro.
Poor Dikembe Mutombo, poor Todd McCullough, poor Jason Collins. Anybody you threw at that man, it was over. It was a wrap.
They ain't had to do my Nets like that in the championship either.
Yes, we did.
Jason Kidd was supposed to get one way before he got to Dallas. But I will say this, because I'm honest. The only thing I hold against Bron is that Maverick series when he played for the Heat. I cannot excuse.
Yeah, I was gonna say we had to touch on that.
We can't let him escape that one.
No, I can't excuse that. You got to play better than that.
I've never been more happy to see
Tapped out.
somebody lose than
Tapped
when the Heat lost.
Oh yeah, I felt like I was in South Beach with them in the club.
When the Heat lost that championship, I was so happy.
Who they beat the next year though, Steve?
Who? I don't know.
OKC.
OKC.
I want to put
AD.
this out there.
Hey,
It was
that
a
was
very
young
young OKC.
That was a
No, no,
young
no, no, no,
OKC
no, no, no.
team.
I'm not,
Overachieved that
I'm
I'm
season.
not letting Steve
They
slide
did-
on this. Steve has been a Milwaukee Bucks fan.
No, I have not been a Milwaukee
Longest.
Bucks fan.
Oh,
I was
Aaron, when-
an OKC
When did we
fan.
discover this?
Man, it was
Y'all-
about it's
y'all like to
2011 or something like that. It was a while ago.
Can we vouch that Steve was a Seattle SuperSonics fan here?
No,
Nah,
y'all
he
can't
was-
vouch that. Y'all
He was
cannot vouch
KD.
that.
He was KD
I
and
was a
Buck
KD fan.
and the Milwaukee
Okay,
Bucks.
all right.
Before
Okay,
Giannis.
all right. We
Before
trying to see the history here.
pre-Giannis. So my
Yeah.
boy Steve been liking the Bucks way before Giannis.
Nah, I don't even mess with the Bucks.
So he had Sam Cassell, he had G Rob,
Yeah.
Ray Allen.
Ray Allen.
That,
Yeah.
that
Hey,
was the squad back then. They was good. They bumped into AI. You know, AI had to.
the East was tough back then, man. The East was tough.
It was better. It was better back then than.
Oh
than
yeah, it
what-
was much more competitive. Those finals like went 7 games. Like
Oh,
Milwaukee and the Sixers, Toronto and the Sixers with Vince Carter. You know, it just was incredible to watch. So many different players, and it wasn't
All
so
to come
many,
in second place because nobody was beating Kobe and Shaq.
There was only one dominant team in the NBA at the time, and it was the Los Angeles
One,
Lakers.
yeah.
So, hey, before we wrap up and stuff, let's touch on that draft.
Ooh.
Mm.
How does everybody feel how that team did in the draft? I'll go first.
Okay.
I bet you will.
Man,
As a Cowboys fan, I couldn't be more happy for Jerry. I feel like he needs to draft from that yacht every year. Because I mean, we had a conversation before, and I told you I wanted a wide receiver. I just didn't think we would get CeeDee Lamb. I didn't think it was possible. And then when he dropped, I thought Jerry was gonna still pick somebody else. When he said CeeDee Lamb, man, I almost ran out the room. I scared my daughter and everything. But I think us getting Lamb was good. I like Trayvon Diggs as a corner. I'm not gonna say he's gonna be a shutdown corner or a lockdown corner, but I think with his size, he's gonna be able to do some things. And then we got an offensive lineman, some defensive linemen. So I think we did all right.
Steve.
Yeah. I guess I'll go ahead and go. In the first round we got a lineman, offensive lineman from out of Georgia. So I kind of like that pick. I mean, we had the 29th pick, so it was kind of towards the end, and really couldn't do too much with it. But we did lose.
Run the ball too.
Yeah, we run the ball a lot, so we got a big tackle from Georgia, and he looked, pretty good on tape and stuff. So I was kind of, pleased with that. And then we got a corner out of LSU, Christian Fulton, the second round. So I was happy with that. I've seen him play a couple times, and I think he's pretty good. I think low key we actually developing into one of the top secondaries in the NFL with the players we have. We just know a lot of people don't talk about them, but with the players we got,
No, man, they're good. What's y'all safety name? Bayard. Yeah, hey.
And Vaccaro, Kenny Vaccaro, them two. That's really a good tandem back there. And we got a running back and out of App State. I ain't really heard too much about him, but I've seen a couple clips from him. He looks pretty good. I guess he'll get on the field and maybe take that role that Deion Lewis was supposed to fill for us last year. So hopefully he do pretty good. And I think we got a backup QB, a D tackle, and a safety, which is added depth because we got our QB. I don't know too much about this kid out of Hawaii. They say he put up pretty good stats.
So y'all got y'all QB?
We got a QB. We got him locked up. I don't know how. I'm not gonna say he's not a superstar QB. But I feel that Ryan Tannehill is a above average.
He's good for y'all.
He's good for us. He can throw the long ball. He gonna do play action. He got a strong arm. We don't need him to win a lot of games. So I think he'll do what he's supposed to do in our system. That's what I'll say. He's good for our system.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty happy with the draft because I don't think we made any bad moves. And I think we just added a little bit more depth at positions we needed pretty much. So I think we made some pretty good moves.
Denzel, you go last because y'all had a terrible draft. But as far as
What else is new? What else is new?
as far as my Washington Redskins, I think we had. I'm not gonna say we had a great draft. I think we had a solid draft. We took the best player in the draft, which I think now probably gives us probably the best defensive line in football. I mean, you say what you want, like we got some dogs.
I don't know, man. San Francisco might argue with that.
Yeah, San Francisco. That's
They lost.
yeah.
They lost a guy. They
did lose Buckner. They did lose Buckner.
And we'll see what Kinlaw does. They got the Kinlaw from South Carolina. We'll see what he does. But, with Payne and Allen from Alabama, clogging up the middle, and then Kerrigan on one side, and Chase Young on the other side, and then not to mention Montez Sweat. Like,
I forgot about Sweat.
I really think we're solid on the line now. I think we're going to have one name with Jack Del Rio coming in to coach the defense. I think we're going to be solid. Everybody else we picked up, we picked up needs. We need, we traded away Trent Williams, which I hated, but I understand he wanted to go. I understand his reasons for wanting to go. The medical staff that was there before.
Yeah, it messed him up.
Man had cancer, and people was playing around with him. But, those people are gone, but I get it. Once you burn, it's just hard to trust, everything. I think they did everything to try to keep him, but I don't blame him for wanting to leave. So, we went out and got a new tackle from LSU, got a center from San Diego State to help shore up the O-line. And we got receivers. That's what we need. Terry McLean showed that he got from Ohio State, showed he had some potential from last year.
Yeah.
Bringing in some receivers. We had a receiver from Memphis and a receiver from Liberty, which I'm very interested. But Liberty.
He's an athlete.
He's an athlete. Yeah, he's hella athletic from what I can see. So if we can get athletic on the receivers, I think the run game, if guys can stay on the field, Adrian Peterson seems like he's 50 years old. He's just not going to die. He's going
to keep running into that brick wall until you fall.
Right.
He's going to keep running. So I think we put ourselves in position to, definitely be a solid team, maybe like right under 500. I think it's going to be a process with Riverboat Ron, but I like the direction that we went in the draft. Now, this is the best draft I think we've had in a while.
Yeah.
I was very happy with it. But let's get into – I'm telling y'all right now, our group chat was jumping. Made their pick. So, Denzel, let's go ahead and talk about
Before I get started, let me take a sip of water here. Clear my throat a little bit.
That's not a sip. You got a jug.
Where do I begin? When I think about the New York Football Giants, Lord, with the number 4 pick that was irrelevant that nobody wanted, we had the opportunity to get Chase Young. We had the opportunity to get at least a top 2 pick here. But we rather give a farewell engagement to Eli Manning. He should have had a farewell engagement about 3-4 years ago, in my opinion. But, okay, with that being said, we get the kind of irrelevant number 4 pick that nobody wanted. We tried to trade for it. Nobody wanted it. You couldn't get too much out of that. But with the opportunity to pick kind of a Swiss Army knife on defense, Isaiah Simmons out of Clemson, we go with a need. It's a need. I never heard of this guy, so I don't know what he's going to do for us. But, he's an offensive tackle out of Georgia. Hopefully he can block. We'll be able to develop our superior run game. Be able to protect our new Eli Manning. Hopefully he could deliver a title or 2, and then I might give him that title for real. But like you guys said, very disappointed in this draft.
I loved it.
We picked up some possible needs here, and we'll see how that pans out. But nothing is definite. Nothing is a dominant definite here. So I don't know what is going on.
That's a quote.
Nothing
is a dominant definite.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I will go into this season with my eyes half closed like last season and hope for the best, and hopefully it pans out on the field. But these New York Giants, I don't know what's going on.
And we definitely gonna sweep y'all. We definitely gonna sweep y'all.
We might easily be the worst team in the NFC East this season. I'll just leave it at that.
I would say so. I would
think so too, my brother.
But can somebody tell me why?
Just wasting Saquon Barkley's
And-
greatness,
and
just like we
and here's-
wasted Odell's greatness.
Here's the thing that shocked me about the whole Giants draft. If you're gonna take an offensive tackle, at least take the best offensive tackle.
Exactly. Y'all went and searched for somebody. We
That
want
just
somebody that
shows you
nobody knows.
how our general manager operates. You know, let's hope for the best. With
He
the
was
number
sitting at
4
home
pick,
shocked.
might I add.
He was sitting at home shocked. They called him like, "Hey son, you want to be a Giant?" He probably was like, "Y'all sure?"
It's early already.
This
I
early,
was expecting to chill for a little while, maybe tomorrow.
we just ordered some wings. They ain't even get here yet. But
Man, but somebody tell me why Carson Wentz is so. Why do people love Carson Wentz? I'm confused.
I don't get.
It was-
I don't get why people are shocked. If I'm them and he's there, of course I draft Jalen Hurts because Carson's gonna be hurt by week 12.
He get hurt every time,
Yeah,
every year. I think people.
Jalen
just-
Hurts, Carson gets hurt.
Right,
Go ahead,
right.
Steve.
He's
If
of a
he's hurt, we got hurt.
persuasion. He's of a different persuasion, and he got the prototypical size. So I'm thinking, that helps him out a lot. I mean, and he probably put up good numbers, as a draft workout, but he hadn't been doing anything. He hasn't won anything. He's always hurt. So I'm still trying
Well,
to figure out.
let's go back to that season where he was potentially the front runner for MVP. Ever since that season, injury prone, and
Nothing.
unfortunately, it's kind of looking like the Andrew Luck syndrome here.
Mhm.
Had potential, just couldn't stay healthy, and I wish this on nobody, but if it continues down this path, how long of a career are we talking?
Mhm.
So I believe it was smart on the Eagles side to go ahead and draft a quarterback and see what happens.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with a little friendly competition.
Nothing wrong with a little competition. And like, if he gets hurt week 10, week 12, I think Jalen is somebody that they can bring along and keep them viable and they keep them afloat. And then, I mean, if they're like, say Carson goes down there like 8-2 or something like that, or 7-3, Jalen can go out there and win a couple games, and then he comes back. But the last few times Philly's been in the playoffs, Nick Foles was taking the snaps.
Exactly.
Foles led the Super Bowl. So like,
Exactly. And people was like, he got a ring, but he didn't play.
yeah,
Nick Foles played every snap of those playoffs. Carson Wentz didn't
Right.
touch the field. He was hurt.
did not. So it's like, I think it was a smart move. Like, you can't compare the move to the Green Bay move, but I'm like, hold on. You got
That's crazy.
$51 million in dead money this year, $31 million in dead money the next year, and you trade up to get a quarterback?
Crazy. Knowing your quarterback don't like other quarterbacks anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
Your quarterback don't like other people, period.
Period.
Yeah. Matter of fact, that's a better way to put it.
And he
Yeah,
got to have
say that.
control of the situation. So what's going
Yeah.
on?
So
But that's letting him know that he doesn't have the control he thinks he has. And unfortunately, this might pan
Now he
out
don't.
to be more of a Brett Favre situation. He's going to be entangled in this Brett Favre conversation the rest of his career, especially if Jordan Love ends up taking his starting job.
I'm not gonna lie.
Or is it either given to him? I don't think he can take it.
I don't think he can take it. They're gonna get
It's gonna
Yeah.
be given to him.
Right,
But-
right.
Aaron, like, you hear all the stuff about Aaron and stuff like that, like, his attitude and he's bad. And then you hear stuff that, Aaron's really cool with Marshawn Lynch, and it makes sense. Aaron is low-key a brother. Aaron don't give a fuck.
Exactly. Exactly. As long as I'm winning, I don't care.
As long as we win, Aaron hang out. And when you hang out in your free time with Marshawn Lynch, you a different type of person. And I love
Just here so I won't get fined. Just here so I won't get fined.
Marshawn Lynch is like one of my favorite players ever because that brother does what he wants and just does not care. And
Mhm.
and like Aaron has that same mentality. It's just that he's a quarterback in Wisconsin, Green Bay, Wisconsin, so he's not necessarily, and he has a Super Bowl, so quarterbacks can get away with a lot more stuff than running backs in every other position can. I'm not gonna make it a race debate. I'm not gonna get into that, but it has somewhat to do with it. But
Save that one.
we'll say that one.
They'll say that for another day.
Yeah, but
But
the thing about it, they don't let Aaron slide. They get on Aaron. Like they don't treat Aaron like how they treat Tom. Like Tom does the same stuff. Tom Tom Brady and Cam Newton on the sideline, other than Cam smiling and giving footballs to kids when he scores touchdowns, which I don't understand why people have beef with.
I hate the Panthers.
When they're on the sideline, their teams are effing up. Tom holds his teammates accountable, and he's yelling at coaches. Like Tom cusses Josh McDaniels out
All
every
the
Sunday.
time. Yeah, all the time, and it's always on camera.
Always on camera, and nobody says nothing.
They
Tom
talk about
Brady-
the passion
Yeah.
passion of the game.
Cam Newton says something to North Turner, and everybody loses their damn mind.
But you know what? It is viewed differently when you got the rings.
I
Yeah.
want to say it's more.
That's the excuse. I think that's the excuse.
We'll see if Patrick Mahomes start cussing Andy Reid out next year. We'll see. We'll see if it's just a real excuse.
Keyword is rings. It has to be more than one because Aaron does have one.
Yeah, they only got one. That was a while ago.
In the NFL, all you need is one. NFL is not like the NBA where you need multiple. I think one locks you in as a great, like in the NFL, because it's so hard to win Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And because
Okay.
like Russell Wilson, like he should have more, but he only has one. We're not going to look at him any less. We're not going to look at
Who else can we can't really put a lot of players in
a lot
in
of
that
players
category.
just got one. Like it's only Tom is the only person that's walking around with like
Yeah,
both.
Multiple
Like
Super
that.
Bowl. Right.
Everybody else got like one or two. Tom out there, 6 of them things.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's hard to do that. Very hard.
I will say one thing before we wrap up though. If the Patriots sign Cam Newton, I am a fan. I'm gonna go buy the hoodie and a hat, the whole get up.
I love Cam. I just hate the Panthers. So now that he gone, he definitely got my vote.
Where y'all think he gonna end up at though? Where y'all think he end up?
I think he's gonna end up in New England, to be honest.
I honestly feel like I don't know about Cam, but I think Dalton might end up going to New England. I think he fits their pedigree a little more.
They said Jacksonville wants Dalton, but I was expecting Jacksonville to look at Cam.
Yeah,
Cam don't.
I don't see Cam playing the Patriot way.
I think he will. What do you define as the Patriot way though? Like the only thing we say about the Patriot way is because of
Brady.
Cam on the football field is just as competitive as any other quarterback out there. It's just that when he gets hit, he smiles, and when he scores touchdowns, he's very animated.
Yeah,
but
they don't want that from the quarterback though, and especially in New England. Like if he played another position, I think it wouldn't be as bad because if you look at like somebody like Gronk, he do all these kind of crazy stuff on and off the field, and he don't really get too much slack. But if he was like a Tom Brady for the Patriots doing this type of stuff, which they look at him like the golden boy. So any quarterback coming in there, they're gonna put him up to that standard.
I don't know. Robert Kraft has been recruited. Robert's running the Bucs now. Rob, when you hang out with Gucci and Meek Mills on the weekend,
I'm about to say Gucci and Meek, boy.
Like,
why is Gucci from Atlanta, but he a Celtics fan? That don't make no sense.
like,
you haven't seen the Hawks play then, obviously.
I really think. I mean, Josh McDaniels. Somebody brought it up earlier that Josh McDaniels had Tim Tebow and took Denver Broncos to the playoffs. If he can take the Denver Broncos to the playoffs and win games with Tim Tebow, Josh McDaniels probably looking at Robert Kraft like, "Yo, we can win multiple Super Bowls with a healthy Cam Newton."
Hell yeah! Oh yeah, easy.
And you don't have to go out and find no receivers because, like he's not gonna complain about how because when Cam had a receiver 1 year, he played with Steve Smith 1 year. After that, all of Cam Newton's receivers have been above average or trash players. Let's just
The best one he had was Ted Ginn, and he dropped everything.
Ted drops everything.
Everything.
Cam Newton had Devin Funchess out here getting 1,100 yards a season. Devin Funchess hasn't done a thing since Calvin Benjamin. He talked all that trash about Cam. Calvin Benjamin is not in the NFL anymore without.
Yeah. Well, he ate his way out.
He did. Yeah. Too much Mickey D's and midnight diners.
Yeah.
all Cam fits the Patriots perfect because it's their type of football. Okay receivers, good tight ends, and running backs. And that's all Cam needs.
Yeah.
Cam needs 2 running backs, and a tight end, and watch out.
And they already got the top defense.
Yeah, I really think that I think it's more they're trying to just wait. I think if they could see him and like get him through his doctors, I think the Patriots probably would have already signed him by now. But I really feel like that's where he's going to end up. And I think he's definitely going to flourish there and be great. Like,
Oh yeah.
Cam's going to be great, and like, Tom's moved on. I mean, I think Tom's going to do his thing down there in Tampa.
Oh yeah, I think so too. I think that
Oh yeah, that's the place to be now.
it's a 2-horse race for that division, man. I still think New Orleans got a shot, but Tampa got some weapons.
I think New Orleans is still going to win it, only because as great as Tom is, it's still going to take like that first.
They're gonna take the time, yeah.
Like that first year, Peyton went to Denver. They were good, but then they were really good the years after that. But that first year is always going to be tough. Like I think,
And this isn't the AFC East
nah,
It's tough.
at all.
it's going to
And
be
South Carolina being trash.
And we on a short
That
season.
division tough.
And a short season. You know, it's not the off season is not like a normal. It's not gonna be a normal.
Yep.
So you gotta take that into account.
And Drew already knows his offense. He's not learning, and Cam's still learning.
Mhm.
Tom's still learning the offense and not getting really.
And he has to practice with social distancing.
Yeah.
And really get to know your people.
That
so
timing and all that. Yeah.
I think
that's something to look forward to this season.
But I think Tom's gonna light it up down there this year. The next year, I think they're definitely gonna be Tampa's gonna be legit to play with. I'm not gonna say nothing but the jersey iron only because it's a Lakers jersey. If it was another jersey, I'd say something.
But I think, man, we wrap it up with a quote of the week. So I'm gonna use the one that I used on the episode that won't get aired by the great Clifford Harris, aka T.I. or Tip. If you live for the cheers, you will die by the booze. So that's a good one for this week. Y'all got anything else?
Yeah, that's a wrap.
I'll stay safe, man.
Yeah, everybody.
Everybody out there, everybody listening, watching this, stay safe. This is our new norm. Stay in the house unless you necessarily have to go out for whatever reason. Stay in the house.
I went out for a burrito today.
I did go get some hot dogs.
I actually stayed in all day for the first time in a while.
I went out for a little bit. I actually did go out to a food truck today, so I guess I don't know if that's social distancing, but I called it in advance and they had it ready, so I didn't wait out there.
There you go. Well, ain't no wrong with that.
Yeah, there you go. Taking the proper precautions is good.
Right.
Perfect.
We appreciate everybody tuning in, watching, listening, however you taking us in. We appreciate you. We hope that you stick with us as we continue to grow this and hopefully turn this into something, really good. Yes,
Oh, yeah.
we're all close. These are we're all brothers, and stay safe out there, America.
When you get the opportunity, feedback is important. Constructive criticism. Let us know where you feel like we can work stronger with this.
Construct those three. I don't want to hear nothing.
I don't mind. I want this to take over.
I just want to say, like, for those of you who don't know us, and there's going to be people who do know us, constructive criticism is welcome, but they know y'all dish it out, we're going to dish it back.
No, you already know.
We good at that.
If you don't know us, for those people who do know us, know, okay, if I say this, there's a solid chance that they're going to get me and they're going to say something back. If you don't know us, we accept the criticism, but just know we might not take it lightly.
That's a wrap until next week or next time, fellas.
All right, y'all.
All right.
I'll be safe.
Yeah, everybody stay safe.